You're sitting in a quiet moment that should feel peaceful. Maybe it's late at night or early in the morning when nothing is asking anything from you. No notifications, no conversations to manage, no role to perform. Your body finally has permission to rest. And yet, something inside stays alert. Your shoulders don't fully drop. Your breath doesn't quite land. Calm feels unfamiliar, almost suspicious, like a room that's too silent after years of constant noise, so your mind drifts. Back to memories that still sting, old conversations, old disappointments and familiar tensions. Not because you want to suffer, but because pain has a texture you recognize. It gives structure, it gives orientation, it tells you where you are. Peace, on the other hand, feels open, undefined, and strangely unsafe. What you're experiencing isn't a personal failure. It's not a lack of growth, strength, or emotional intelligence. It's a pattern, one that forms quietly, often without your consent. When pain has been present for a long time, your mind doesn't just remember it. It organizes itself around it. Emotional discomfort becomes familiar terrain. You know how to move there. You know what to expect. There's a strange stability in knowing what hurts. So when moments of calm appear, they don't register as safety. They register as uncertainty. Peace doesn't come with instructions. There's no script for how to stand inside it. And the mind, designed to predict and protect, interprets that openness as risk. It asks, "What am I missing?" Or, "What's about to go wrong?" This is why you might notice something confusing about yourself. You finally get a day off and feel restless. A relationship becomes stable and suddenly feels boring or wrong. Nothing bad is happening, yet your body stays braced. You return to familiar worries, old emotional states, sometimes even relationships that once hurt you. Not because you want pain, but because your system trusts what it has already survived. Pain feels navigable. Peace feels like uncharted territory. There's relief in realizing this isn't self-sabotage. It's familiarity masquerading as safety. And that distinction matters. Because the moment you see this pattern clearly, it stops feeling like a flaw and starts feeling like information. Information about how your nervous system learned to stay alive. And when something is learned, it can be unlearned. Not through force, but through awareness. At some point, your system learned that staying tense was useful. Maybe there were moments when relaxing led to disappointment, or conflict, or loss. Maybe calm was followed by something that hurt, so your body made a quiet decision. Don't drop your guard. This wasn't conscious. It wasn't a choice. It was a survival response. Your nervous system adapted to an environment where vigilance felt safer than ease. In that context, pain wasn't just suffering. It was information. It signaled what to expect, how to prepare, how not to be caught off balance. Over time, your system began to associate discomfort with control. If you're already braced, nothing can surprise you as much. Peace, by contrast, removes that armor. It asks your body to trust a moment without proof. This is why it can feel wrong to feel okay. Your system isn't malfunctioning. It's remembering. It's applying old rules to a present moment that may no longer require them. What once protected you now quietly limits you. And here's the part most people miss. Your nervous system often mistakes the absence of threat for the anticipation of threat. When you see this with compassion, the story shifts. The question stops being, "Why can't I just relax?" and becomes, "What did I need to survive that taught me this?" There's no defect in a system that learned quickly and adapted deeply. The issue isn't that it learned, it's that it hasn't been updated. And nothing updates a nervous system through pressure or self-criticism. It updates through safety, repeated gently enough for the body to notice that the present is not the past. Once this pattern is in place, your mind starts working overtime to keep you safe. It monitors your internal state, scanning for signs that you're getting too comfortable. The moment things feel calm, doubt appears. A memory surfaces. A subtle tension returns. Not because something is wrong, but because the system believes it's preventing danger. You might try to escape this by forcing positivity, by distracting yourself, by analyzing your thoughts until you're exhausted. But each attempt sends the same message to your nervous system. Peace isn't stable. It has to be managed, so the body stays alert. The more you try to secure calm, the more fragile it feels. This creates a loop. Calm triggers vigilance. Vigilance creates discomfort. Discomfort feels familiar, so the system settles there. And because pain has structure, it feels oddly grounding. You know who you are when you're bracing. You know how to function there. The paradox is that the strategies meant to help, like control, suppression, effort, end up reinforcing the very state you're trying to escape. The effort itself becomes proof that peace is unsafe. If calm were truly okay, your system reasons, I wouldn't need to work so hard to keep it. Over time, this loop narrows your emotional range. Peace becomes something you visit briefly, not something you inhabit, and repetition makes it convincing. Not because it's true, but because repetition teaches the nervous system what to expect. The shift doesn't come from trying to feel peaceful. It comes from noticing how you relate to what's already here. Real agency isn't about stopping the tension or silencing the thoughts. It's recognizing the moment you start negotiating with your experience, trying to fix it, outrun it, or make it behave. There's a quiet choice point there. Not dramatic, not heroic. Just the choice to stop arguing with your own nervous system. To let the tightness exist without turning it into a problem that needs immediate resolution. When you do that, something subtle happens. The tension doesn't disappear, but it loses its authority. This is where peace actually begins. Not as a feeling, but as a relationship. When you're no longer using pain as a reference point for safety, and you're not forcing calm as an outcome. You're allowing experience to unfold without adding urgency to it. Your system doesn't need convincing speeches. It needs consistency. Moments where nothing bad happens when you don't brace. Moments where stillness is met with presence, not inspection. That's how trust is rebuilt, not through control, but through contact. Beneath this pattern, there's often something quieter than pain itself. Pain is loud. It demands attention. But underneath it live questions that feel harder to face. Who are you when you're not struggling? What remains when the tension loosens and there's no problem to manage? For some part of you, pain became tied to identity. Letting go of it can feel like losing a familiar version of yourself. Peace threatens that identity, not because it's wrong, but because it's undefined. It asks you to exist without armor. This is where themes of worth and belonging quietly enter. When pain has been present for a long time, it can start to feel like proof that you care deeply, that you're engaged with life. Calm can feel empty by comparison, even undeserved, as if ease must be earned through suffering. That's why logic alone rarely helps. The body isn't responding to arguments, it's responding to meaning, to what pain has come to represent. Seeing this doesn't require you to abandon anything. It invites honesty about what pain has given you, not just what it's taken. And in that honesty, there's space to discover that safety, identity, and worth don't actually require discomfort to exist. Staying in this pattern offers protection, but it comes with a quiet cost. Predictability can turn into confinement. Life narrows. Moments pass without fully landing. Peace becomes something theoretical, something for later. Recognizing this cost isn't meant to push you. It's meant to clarify what's being exchanged, what's protected, and what's postponed. If pain has felt safer than peace, there's nothing weak or broken about you. It means your system learned how to survive, and it learned well. Change doesn't come from forcing calm or erasing old patterns. It comes from meeting yourself differently, again and again, in small moments where presence replaces protection. Peace isn't a destination you reach once you've earned it. It's a capacity that grows through gentle repetition and honest awareness. So the question isn't whether you're ready for peace. It's whether you're willing to notice what happens when you don't turn away from it. If this resonated, you don't need to fix anything. Just remember this the next time calm feels unfamiliar. And if you want to explore more of these patterns like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, stay connected here. See you next time.